Hello everyone, it's your girl Ayana, the Crafty Notary, here with another video to help you build your notary or loan signing agent business. Now, as you can see by the title, today we are talking all about business structures. Yes, now let me put out a disclaimer first, okay? I am not an attorney, okay? I am a commissioned notary. I am a licensed real estate broker, and I'm an MBA graduate. But what I am not is an attorney. I'm not a CPA, and I'm not a licensed or certified financial advisor. So everything of what I'm going to talk about today is based upon my experience, personal knowledge, and education. Okay? All right, let's go. So as you can see in the picture, you want to know whether or not you should form an LLC or continue operating under your name. And here is my opinion about that. An LLC costs money. Okay, now some states it costs more or less. Here in the state of Florida, I believe it's $125 to form an LLC. And you also have to pay an annual fee of about $150 per year. So with that being said, you do not, or I wouldn't say do not, you should not start with forming an LLC if you are not making money. Because what you want to do when you're building any business is you want to keep your startup costs very low. Okay, and we already talked about what it costs to start up, or about what it costs to start up a notary business. It's not that cheap compared to other things. Okay, you probably need, I think we talked about $1,200 to $1,500, depending on what type of equipment you may already have. But as far as getting the courses, getting your stamps, getting your journal, getting your background checks, and getting all your certifications, it's going to cost you probably at the minimum $1,000. Okay, so if you're not making money yet, if you have no clue on how to make money, starting an LLC is an expense. It's a write-offable expense, if that's a word. It is a business deduction, it is a tax deduction. However, it is an expense that you have to front up front in advance. So my personal opinion is that you should wait to start your LLC until you are making consistent money. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of talk going around about protections and not being able to be protected, your personal assets being protected, and all of these things. If you're just starting out and you have personal assets such as a home, 401ks, lofty bank accounts, then you do want to make sure those things are protected. And what you should do is talk to a financial advisor or a CPA on the best way to protect those things. However, an LLC does not necessarily save you from having to put up your personal assets in the event that you are sued. There is a such thing as piercing the corporate veil. We've heard that term before. And it doesn't just apply to corporations, because forming an LLC is a type of incorporation. And someone can pierce the corporate veil if you're not set up properly. Okay, so forming an LLC is quite easy. You go to your state's website. There is typically a form for you to fill out. It's usually fill in the blank type of thing. You can do that all on your own. You pay the filing fee, boom, you're done, right? Right. However, there are other things you need in place in order to make sure you are operating as a bona fide business. Some of those things include, and I won't go into them because again, I'm not an attorney. Some of those things include an operating agreement, you want to make sure you have the correct bank accounts and that you're separating your funds correctly. You're not commingling your funds. You need an EIN and all of those things so that you can make sure that in the event someone does try to come after you, you need the proper insurances, you need the bonds and all of this stuff. So any event someone tries to go after you, they cannot pierce your corporate veil. And you want to make sure you have all of those things done. Now, can you do all of those things on your own? Absolutely. But you have to have the knowledge of what you need to do in order to protect your business. And that is where a professional comes into play. A lot of people pay those companies to do it online. A lot of people pay other people to do it for them online, and that's perfectly okay. However, you want to make sure you have everything in place. And the only way you're going to guarantee that is if you're talking to a tax professional, you're talking to an attorney, you're talking to a CPA, you're talking to somebody who has experience in lawsuits as it relates to your business. Now, what's the alternative? The alternative is operating as a sole proprietor. And as a real estate agent, we often operate in this manner. Now, it's called we end up getting in Florida what's called a PA. I forgot what it stands for, professional something or another, but we end up operating under our own name for the most part because our real estate license can't be in any other name other than our true name. And then we buy or we purchase a DBA or doing business as with the state and then name it 123 Realty or We Buy Houses or, those types of companies or whatever your company name is, so-and-so Realty, that kind of thing. So it is possible to operate as a sole proprietor. And you can still get an EIN as a sole proprietor because in order to set up a business account, you need an EIN number. That stands for Employer Identification Number. That number comes from the IRS and that number is $3.99. Okay. So you can get an EIN if you are a sole proprietor. I have one as a sole proprietor, and I also have one as an owner, a single member owner of an LLC. You can do it either way, and you can set up your bank account that way. But in order, like I said, to get a business account, you need the EIN number, and you can totally get that as a sole proprietor. Now, what's the difference? Because I hear a lot of people talk about sole proprietor versus LLC, and those are business structures, okay? Sole proprietorship, LLC, joint partnerships, incorporations or corporations, not incorporations, but corporations. Those are all types of business structures. That is completely different from your tax filing status with the IRS. Now, as a single member LLC, and what that is just one owner of an LLC, typically one owner. You can have employees, but typically it's just you. It's not two people. Two people owning an LLC is a partnership. So one owner owning an LLC is called a single member LLC. And for tax purposes, your taxes are treated the same way as they would be if you were a sole proprietor running a business for the most part. So it goes on your personal income tax, and the business income is kind of intertwined with your personal taxes, and you get all of those deductions from your personal taxes. Now, there's another option that you can elect, but you want to do that only under the guidance of a CPA again, and that's called filing as an SCorp. And when you do that, you're basically essentially creating employees. You're making yourself an employee, and now you're paying yourself. And with that comes payroll taxes, FICA, all of that stuff, Social Security, all of that stuff withheld. So in that case, you need an accountant. You need someone doing your books. So those are the two things. And that's my recommendation. You don't have to follow my advice. However, my whole thing is that if you're building a business, you want to keep your costs to a minimum until you're consistently making money. You can always change anything. You can always incorporate into an LLC once you're making that consistent money. You can always operate under your name and do business as, oh, there's a gnat in here, as your business name, and then incorporate that name into an LLC down the line. So that is the video for today, talking about business structures, LLCs versus sole proprietorship. For some reason in the state of Florida, a corporation is much cheaper than having an LLC. And I'm assuming that it's because we don't have state taxes here, and they are encouraging those businesses to form here for other purposes. However, with a corporation, you need a board and all of that stuff. So that's way more detailed than just having an LLC or a sole proprietorship. So that's our video for today. As always, please comment below with anything that you discuss. If you think I'm wrong, drop it below and correct me. If you are a professional, or a tax professional, a financial advisor, or a CPA, and you have other information that you want to share, please drop a comment below. I welcome it. I'm not above being corrected. However, I've done a lot of research and I've actually operated in this space. So that's that to be said. Share this video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to comment. And as always, I'll see you again with another video soon. Bye-bye.